This is Influencing the Right Way. Our goal is to raise the standard of the fitness industry. We're out here trying to make people's lives as healthy and as happy as we possibly can. And the only way we're going to do that is if we take it as serious as a medical doctor does. What is going on? You are listening to Influencing the Right Way with the Viking, and I've got with me
Sarah freaking Sloan.
How you doing, girl?
Wonderful.
All right, so let's rip right into this one. Today we're going to talk about deep problems. That's a little bit corny to just like kind of say. What was the other way that you called it? And I already forgot.
Oh, root problems?
Root problems. No, there was underlying. Underlying problems. That's right. Okay. So whichever term you want to use, right? So contextually, what does that mean? What's the difference between a problem and a deep problem?
The first thing that always comes to my mind is like if you're tired, there's a lot of reasons why you can be tired. And so you can just be like, oh, I need some caffeine, or I need a little bit of energy, or you can put a Band-Aid on like the superficial problem of being tired, or the root problem like sleep quality, stress levels, stuff like that. Yeah.
And I also, as you were just saying that, I also like to think is like, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So it's like, I'm tired. I need an energy drink. I'm tired. I should get more sleep. I'm tired. I should stop playing with my phone before I go to bed at night. That is leading to me not getting sleep, right? So it's like each one is true, but they get more underlying to the root cause of what it actually is of the problem.
That's causing that problem.
That's causing that problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we talking about it on the podcast? What's the point?
Well, obviously, if you're listening to this, you're probably selling some sort of thing, whether it be a package or a supplement or something. And in order to effectively sell someone something, you have to be solving a problem.
Yeah.
Now you could like solve not like a very superficial problem, and maybe they'll buy it for a couple times, but then they're still going to feel like crap. So in order to effectively retain a customer or actually do the ethical thing, you've got to be solving underlying root problems.
Absolutely. So, maybe it's because I have the lens of coming at it from the fitness industry, but I do believe that this is one that's like very well highlighted in the fitness industry insofar as with our own bodies, we see like, oh, I have a problem. Like I've got too much body fat. I need to cut the fat, right? And it's like, oh man, we got a lot of layers of this onion to peel, right? And if you're not willing to peel the onion, you're never really going to help that person solve the problem, right? This is like the old adage we talk about is, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, but talking about taking a pharmaceutical drug, right? Like, do you have anxiety? Here's a Xanax. Did we really like fix anything? Did we make it better? I mean, I could make an argument that like by doing that, you made the problem worse. You temporarily did something to alleviate that problem, but you gained another problem. You now can potentially be hooked on a drug that has other negative side effects. So like, but it's just wanting the quick fix.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good.
There we go. So then, all right, how do we find the deep problems? What does that mean when we're dealing with let's talk about in the fitness industry, how do we get down to root problems?
I think what I've learned the most from this is like, if this is your expertise, you're going to look at someone and most likely like know what the deep problem is before they've identified it.
If you're an expert.
If you're an expert.
There you go.
Yes.
Keep going, sorry.
So if you are talking to someone and you're like, hey, I know how to solve this thing, I think to me, finding deep problems is actually helping them work through it themselves. So you both are identifying the root problem together, because if you just tell someone to do something, oh, I know that the reason why you have belly fat is because you overeat in calories on the weekends when you're going out or something.
Ding, 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 ding.
If I just tell you don't go out on the weekends, I'm not solving the root problem of like you're insecure and so you have to go out on the weekends to feel good about yourself, but that's actually what's causing you to gain weight and this whole rabbit hole of issues.
So a lot of times like different podcasts that we do, they connect into each other because it's all actually the same fucking thing. But what we're talking about also is like being able to have the trust between you two to be able to get to the root problem, right? Like, yes, because I would consider myself in the fitness industry, in my narrow little band, right? I am a fucking expert. But the reason I'm an expert isn't because I'm smart. I've just literally done it. I've worked with 10,000 different people. So when someone walks in with this problem, the root problem is only one or two of these other things.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it like can be. So, but even though I know the answer, exactly like you just said, we've got to build that trust so that way we can get there together. Because I can't figure it out. You got to figure it out. So now I've got to do the right questions in the right series of events with the right storytelling, getting to a comfortable place where you go, oh shit, and you unpeel that onion yourself.
Yeah, it's like when your parents give you unsolicited advice. If you like are dating a boy and they know it's not good and you shouldn't be doing it, your mom's going to come to you and tell you, oh, you shouldn't be dating him. But like, are you going to break up with him?
Now you just love that boy a bunch.
No way.
Yeah.
But if she,
oh, tell me a little bit more about that boy. Like, what is he kind of into? And come at it from curiosity and let that kid, yeah, he does do some weird shit. Yeah, I guess you're right. And let them go on that journey themselves. It's, it's the only route you actually have.
Yeah.
There isn't another route.
Also with that, you just pointed a very big thing, coming out from curiosity.
Yeah.
So if you are an expert, right, you are an expert, but someone with humility who is an expert would know that, like, I do need to hear this person out in order to solve the problem correctly.
Absolutely.
So, like, I could look at you and have a pretty good idea of what the root problem is and how to solve it.
95%, sure, yeah.
But the right thing to do is to just, like, ask open-ended questions coming from a place of, like, hey, I just actually do want to get down to the bottom of this with you together. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and I think, so we've gone through this process as a business where it's like, what questions do you ask to be able to get to these root problems? And there are some questions that genuinely do help. You're right, like open-ended questions or, whatever it is. But the reality is nobody actually needs to be taught because you have a best friend. You listening to this, you have a best friend, and they've been dealing with something tough in their life, and you went, oh, what's going on? Well, tell me a little bit about it. Like,
what have you done so far?
What have you done so far? Like, you actually know all the questions. It's just that in that situation with your best friend, you don't have anything to sell them. So what you're doing is you're coming at it from a place of real curiosity and care and concern and love and all those good things. And so you automatically ask the right questions.
Yeah.
But when you get into business and now it's like, yeah, okay, at the end of the day, I do have a thing I want to sell you. But if you're doing it the right way, it's a solution to your problem. But because of that, then you're trying to like come up with like tactical ways to like ask this certain thing. So then they're going to ask about your product. And it's like, you don't need any of that. You just got to be the good friend. And then you'll feel that genuine connection. You'll ask the right questions naturally. And then you'll be able to say like, hey, this isn't the only solution, but one solution would be using this workout program or taking this product, right? And I think it would genuinely really help you.
Yeah.
You come at it like that and it's like you're not selling anymore, you're helping.
If you come at it at a place of like the end goal is to sell them on something, then no matter what questions you ask, you're going to get there to the selling it. But then what if that wasn't what they should be doing? What if your program isn't the best thing?
Yeah.
Then they're going to buy it and then just be upset that it didn't actually help them out because you weren't actually solving any like root deep problems with it.
So there's this very sensitive topic that I like to talk about, getting into like root problems, right? So if you're listening at home, I hope you're fucking ready. Hold on to your butts. This is going to be a tough one right when we jump into it. But everybody knows that in social media or what you hear around right now, pedophilia is like a thing in the news. It is. It's like a thing that like you hear on the news, you hear on social media. And
hold on to your butts. I'm going to talk about pedophiles.
Let me have my moment here. Okay. So you know that person who will talk about pedophiles on their social media and they'll be like, we need to kill these motherfuckers. Although I don't disagree with you that we need to kill these motherfuckers, at the end of the day, right, you only have limited resources of time, money, and energy, right? You can only do so much. You can't do all things. So I like to think about this from a root problem kind of way of thinking. So if you have these people that are doing this terrible thing and the solution for the last 100 years has been kill them, well, we know that it hasn't actually done anything. Like there are still pedophiles and the numbers are still bad and it's still a fucking issue. So I think what happens a lot is people are saying kill the pedophiles because it sounds good to say. Like if you say that, it's like saying, hey, I'm a good guy, look at me. But I don't think that you really care about the kid and want them to be better off. Because if you did, the solution is pretty simple. Almost all pedophiles, 99% of them, they were molested, assaulted, whatever, as a young child. That's how it starts. So instead, if we reverse engineered and put our time and energy into caring, giving them the security, giving them the psychological need, giving them psychiatrist help, giving them a home that's going to be respectful and bring them back into society the right way, that is the thing that needs to be done. The reason we don't do that is it doesn't sound sexy. It doesn't sound cool. Kill the pedophile sounds cool. But take care of a kid for 20 years and make sure that they're loved and cared for and given the things they need to be nurtured and live a healthy life. That takes a lot of time, money, and energy, but it'll work.
Yeah. You peel the onion back of the pedophile.
And it's what it is, but I'm being serious.
Yeah.
You know, it really is a tough subject, but if you can see that in there, you can see the difference between thinking about things from a surface level Band-Aid, kill the pedophile, to a root cause, something that is actually going to fucking change things. That's what it is. And if you want to really care about things, it's always going to be harder and a little bit more complex. Like what I talked about, if you got anxiety, yeah, you can take Xanax and it's going to short term make it feel better, but it doesn't mean you're fixing the problem. What else you got for me? Do you got anything after pedophiles? Is there something after that one to go and talk about?
No, but I think this is something that you can apply, obviously, in more than just your business aspect. If you can globally understand it, then it should naturally just come into play when you are working or selling something.
Well, your relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend, like you know, oh my God, they're so fucking loud and annoying in the morning when I'm trying to sleep. Okay, it's not necessarily the being loud. You're probably frustrated about 3 other things, or you're not getting your schedules worked up together, or there's always the other factors, the other underlying things that are causing these blow up and fights, right? But it's harder to work on the deep root problems. It just is. Yeah. So it's something that you can apply. If I will say this, business for me, it had a reverse effect. I was not a good guy. Not a bad guy, but not a good guy. And then through business and the people that I work with, I saw the way that like building trust, caring for people, really solving problems, doing the ethical thing, like literally from the way my brain works, like it had an objective, measurable fix on my life. Our sales went up. We did better. We built better relationships. Everything grew. So then it's like, oh, well, maybe if I wasn't selfish and just applied those things in my personal life, and then that grows the exact same way. So it's just kind of a little opposite. But yeah, being the greedy, money-hungry CEO made me into a much better human being.
Yeah, because if you were a greedy, hungry CEO, you probably were a greedy, hungry, not so good boyfriend.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
You're the same person inside and outside of work.
You're not 2 different people. You're not one way at work and one way at home. You're the same person all the time. You're just lying to yourself about which one you're trying to pretend to be. All right, guys, that's the podcast.
Bye, love you.
Yeah, I love you guys. All right, but if you do connect with what we're talking about here, we're about raising the standard of the fitness industry. That's why we do this podcast. If this connects with you, send this to someone that you know to show them how you feel about the fitness industry. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and I will catch you next time.